Hello and welcome to Cricket News Live. I'm Rahul Pandey and I'm joined by Abhishek Mukherjee. It is time for the series decider of this three-test tale. As it has been so far, it's 1-1 and going into Cape Town. One of them is going to take the trophy away, or maybe they are going to share it. Who knows? Cape Town hasn't been exactly the most suitable venue for visiting sites. But let's talk about what this series can bring for us in this final act. Welcome, Mr. Abhishek. What are your expectations from this final test match? Because going into it, we see that there are only two teams who have a winning ratio, win loss ratio of two or more. And in fact, only three visiting sides have a win loss ratio of more than zero. So, yes, not the most suitable venue.
I'm trying to figure out what the pitch may play like. So this is what happened in the last, what do you say, last first class match here. This
Yeah.
was part of the Cricket South Africa 4 day series. Okay.
Mhm.
So the Western Province are the hosts. Northerns put up six against them, the touring side, 647 for 7.
Yeah.
Uh, Kyle Simmons, the Western Province all-rounder, bowled 47 overs on this pitch. Okay, this was the
Okay.
last match. And
Okay.
then Simon Harmer took 7 wickets on this pitch to bowl out
Okay.
Western Province for 195. And there was also, yeah, Simon Harmer, we know, and we have seen him. But two of the other 3 wickets also went to spin. So
Yeah.
essentially, Harmer and Neil Brand took 9 wickets, and in the second innings, Harmer and Brand took 6 more wickets.
Yeah.
So essentially, the last first class match here was decided by a huge first inning score and then spin.
Yeah.
In the one before that, I can see the only other one played this season. Uh, KwaZulu Natal Coastal scored 489, and then Simmons again had to bowl 44 overs to take 4 wickets. And once again, the touring bowling was dominated by spin.
Yeah.
So here we have a left arm spinner called Parsons. So Parsons took 5 wickets. So essentially, the last 2 matches were determined by a big first inning score and then
Yeah.
spin. So essentially, what we may expect from this Newlands pitch is a very unlike South Africa pitch, where we
Yeah.
may see a big score,
Yeah.
and we may see spin.
Yeah. And which is why I presume Dean Elgar was saying after the last match, I wouldn't want to give away what the pitch is going to be like.
Yes,
I would
yes.
want to keep it to myself. Yeah. And well, let's talk about the other captain speaking in a press conference earlier today. And since we have already nudged into the direction of talking spin bowling, this is what Virat Kohli had to say about Ravichandran Ashwin earlier today. And he said that Ashwin has figured out and he knows that his spin bowling away from home has come leaps and bounds.
Yes,
And
yes,
it
no doubt.
can be a solo all-round option for India as well. And now that in the absence of Ravindra Jadeja, India have only Ravichandran Ashwin to look up to. This
Among
can be
among
pretty big
among among lesser mortals.
among lesser mortals. That is important here. This can be a pretty big decision that India need to make because Mohammad Siraj is also not confirmed for this test match. Pretty much not going to be in the 11, as Virat Kohli has said in the press conference himself. What do you make of the 4+1 or 5+0 ratio going into this test? 4+1.
Ashwin will play. I mean, given I was browsing through the scorecards, what I saw, Ashwin should play. I mean, the pitch has helped spinners in
Yeah,
in the last 2 first class matches. Ashwin will
yeah,
play. The question is who else? I mean, if uh, see, I'll tell you something. After the previous test match, Rahul Dravid mentioned that the extra height of the South African fast bowlers had come in handy because the pitch became uneven.
yeah,
So, and if we are looking at a tall fast bowler, I mean, Ishant is probably the go-to man, and he has been among India's. I mean, it's very difficult to choose one out of three, but he has been as good as Shami Bumrah. over the
Definitely.
past 3 years.
He's
Maybe
bowled
not the
the tough
last six
spells
months. Yes,
as they remember him from. Yeah,
yes, yes. Maybe not over the past six. Maybe not in England, but generally, and had there been no Siraj, Ishant would have been playing.
definitely.
He has a better overseas record than Umesh. Having said that, Umesh did nothing wrong at the Oval in
Yeah,
India's last overseas test after before this series. So
yeah,
yeah, it will be a tough choice, but since I mean it is not going to be a Johannesburg pitch, but if it is similar, then India may go with Ishant because of his height. I won't be surprised if they do that.
yeah. Remains to be seen. But yes, Ishant Sharma looks quite a suitable
Mhm.
option given what happened in the last test. Let's talk about more towards the batting side of the things. Virat Kohli also addressed his form of late and has been a cause of concern. But as we know, with the big players, they just need that those few differences here and there to make that bounce back. And Virat Kohli has done that on previous occasions, but as he said today, that I take a lot of pride in performing for my team, and I've been able to do that for a long time. I've been involved in many important moments for the team over the past year itself. What do you make of his form, Abhishek? That we've seen the cover drive going wrong in 2022 as well, but of all the things that fans expect of a player to do, perhaps asking Virat Kohli not to play a cover drive is going to be a cardinal sin.
Since the England tour, Kohli has played three. I mean, he has been angry with himself in three of he has batted four times essentially. Got out four times cheaply, and he has been angry with himself after three of these four dismissals, and the fourth one divided internet mm, uh, based on
Yeah.
whether he was actually out. So essentially,
Yep.
um, we are not looking at someone who has been dominated by bowlers. We are looking at someone who has basically played a couple of loose shots. So I don't think it's a question of lack of form.
Yeah.
It's a question of when the when he will essentially not play one of these shots, or rather when he will play one of these shots but not edge.
Yeah, because up until the point that he has been dismissed, he's looked good in quite a few of the innings. He scored what 3 to 4 important 70s, half centuries that have come in handy for India.
Mhm.
In fact, did that in Adelaide back in the home
And
series against England.
in the second innings at Centurion, so essentially Kohli was chasing a ball, just the first ball after lunch, I think, or
Yeah,
first ball after lunch, right? In the
yeah,
second
probably,
innings. Yeah. So
probably.
essentially, he was chasing a ball outside off, and I mean, India were going for quick runs. There was rain predicted on day five. On the
Yeah,
day, the first ball, Kohli went for it, and on another day, it
yeah, and
might
we
have
saw
been
Ajinkya Rahane play a
it might
similar
have been a
shot.
YouTube video with
Yeah,
1 million views on another day.
we saw Ajinkya Rahane play a similar shot on similar line, and that was a boundary. So it's just
Yep.
a matter of difference, just small differences that happen. But yeah, his coming back to form will be sweet for India because they want to round up this series with a win. Finally, a South Africa Test series with a win, important for them. Let's talk about the hosts. They made a good comeback, a strong comeback, and they've been a team that has sort of not shied away from having a word as well with the opposition. What do you make of them going into the third Test match?
Why would they shy from having a word at the opposition? This is not a
Sort
classroom.
of because of the belief that people have that this is a team going a transition period
So,
and not as strong as the other team. So we see
so
some teams crumble in that sort of pressure. We have seen that in the past. Some teams playing at home
just
crumble
because you
under
play
pressure against this Indian side.
just because you bat poorly doesn't mean that, or you fail with the bat doesn't mean that your attitude needs to change while fielding. They're two different roles. I mean, a lot of people were
Cannot.
saying
I
things about
mean, yeah,
Rishabh Pant still sledging after getting out cheaply.
that's
That's
wrong.
a
That's
different role. That's a different
yeah,
role.
it's wrong.
Your role with the bat ends the moment you get out. When you take up the big gloves, a new role begins. and it is important to unlearn the previous role. Of course, he will sledge. He will give it back.
Which is why
And
they're called
similarly,
professionals, right?
yeah. Similarly, South Africans, even if they lose, they will sledge. Fast bowlers,
They
fast bowlers
should. They
will
should.
sledge.
Yeah.
I think the stump cam picked up something from Bumrah. बहुत उछल रहे हैं अगले टेस्ट में देखेंगे or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
It was towards the end, I think, when the match was almost done.
okay, finally he sounds like a fast bowler. I don't like I don't get the concept of smiling after your wicketkeeper drops a catch.
Yeah. Just smiling, just plain smile. It should be a vicious smile, right?
Yeah,
Sort of evil smile. But
I
yeah,
mean,
let's talk on a serious note. What are the
he's a
observations that
fast
you make
bowler.
of
The
this team?
opposition should be scared of you as well as, I mean, they should be wary of you, but also scared of you.
Yeah, especially when you're bowling in these conditions, when the
Yeah,
pitch is all about you.
yeah.
But let's talk about the serious things. Let's talk about the observations that you made of their play in the second test. What were the differences that you made in terms of the team that played at Centurion, the team that put up a show in Johannesburg?
They played the extra fast bowler. They won the match. They played an
Batting,
extra fast
any
bowler.
differences?
Batters, don't know. I mean, they are the support cast. Test matches are won by bowlers. However well you bat, you need to take 20 wickets. The side that takes 20 wickets wins.
Yeah, and even won by bowlers with the bat, as we have seen,
Yeah.
or saved by bowlers with the bat at times, as we've seen in the past a lot. That would be something, that sort of a finish to this series, because it has been pretty close up until now. We
I can
thought that
understand.
India
I
would,
mean, India missed Siraj in the second test. Do you
yeah,
think an injury to a batter would have affected this match? No, right? One bowler goes out. One bowler goes out of the equation, and the entire scenario changes.
yeah,
I mean, fast bowlers are prime property. They basically tuck them into the bed, wrap them in cotton wool, give them their
they're
favorite
blue chip
comic
stocks.
books, whatever. Yeah, yeah. You don't.
Yeah,
I mean, in India, you get them maybe once in decades, and here
yeah,
you have two or three. Basically, wrap them in cotton wool as much as possible. Remember, 3 years ago, Virat Kohli gave his business class upgrade to his fast bowlers.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I mean,
definitely. That's the kind of luxury that we need to put up with these set of players, because they are priceless for us. All right, then, Abhishek, the prediction time going into this next test. Who will be the player that you'd want to look out for from both teams
Bumrah, Bumrah,
and from South Africa?
Rabada.
Rabada. So it
This
is
the
going to
last
be,
test we saw the Rabada of old coming back. So
yeah,
this is going
the
to be
fiery fast bowler that you need to be
supercharged up.
scared of.
I mean,
Yeah.
4 years ago in the when the sandpaper thing happened in the Australia South Africa series, what passed by was, well, what was forgotten was Rabada's the quality of Rabada's bowling and the extra aggression. He was probably docked demerit points for that. So that Rabada, I,
The one that Faf
I
du Plessis said he will sleep with tonight
yes,
in the press conference. Yeah,
that Rabada I have been missing. Now Rabada is back to form. They also have
yeah.
three fast bowlers to assist him. One of them a tall left-hander. Again,
Marco Jansen has been brilliant. Yeah, has been
very,
brilliant so far.
very a very curious combination. A tall left-hand fast bowler. You don't get that every day. The
Yeah.
awkward angle, awkward height on an uneven pitch. I mean, he's the perfect support. I wish India had one of these.
We just keep asking for more. Dil mange more
No, no.
वाली जो बात है ये रहती है
At
हमारी
one point,
मतलब.
India had Zahir Khan, Ashish Nehra, R.P. Singh, Irfan Pathan, even Jaydev Unadkat, five of them, and suddenly there's no one.
Yeah. Tell you what, I do think we need to watch out for Bumrah, because as our colleague Suvajit Mustafi has mentioned in the comments, it is Bumrah's debut venue, and we need to look out for what sort of show he's going to put on his return. He's pretty excited. He's already put that on Instagram, venue to remember for him, and it is a good chance for India and Indian cricket to make this a venue to remember for the fans as they go into the final act of this test series. And we'll be here to cover all of that at Cricket News. Thank you so much, Abhishek Mukherjee, for joining us. And thanks to all of you for joining us for today's live. And stay tuned to Cricket News for more about cricket.